is up, friends? Welcome back to another episode here at Ozark Outdoor Brewing. So glad you could be with me today. It's Brew Day, my second brew of 22. Today we're brewing up another extract kit from Northern Brewer. This one is called Cosmic Trident Pale Ale. It sounds like it's going to be a pretty hoppy and hazy beer, and it's going to feature at least 6 ounces of hops. 5 of those are going to be Trident hops. And from everything that I've read and researched, when you combine that with the Omega Labs Cosmic Punch liquid yeast, those aroma and flavor thiols just shove all that tropical fruit and citrus aroma and flavor right into your face. So I'm really looking forward to this one. So without further ado, let's get to brewing some beer. Let's take a look at the recipe kit. Like I mentioned, it's going to have quite a bit of hops. The recipe kit features 6 pounds gold malt extract syrup, also 1 pound of a golden light dry malt extract, DME. Also has 6 ounces of hops, 1 ounce Cascade, and then count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ounces of Trident hops. So I've got all those ingredients laid out here. I've got my liquid malt extract in some warm water. Just trying to get it ready to pour a little bit easier when it comes time to drop that into my brew kettle. I've got 2.5 gallons of water already in the brew kettle. Let's fire up that Dark Star burner and bring this thing up to a boil. While that comes up to boil, let me tell you a little bit about a new product that I've got, and I'm going to try it today. This is a Bouncer inline beer filter. I picked it up off Amazon. I'll put a link down in the description below in case you're interested in checking it out. I've got this fitted onto my vinyl tubing, and this is going to allow me to filter my beer as it comes out of the brew kettle into the fermentation vessel. And the beauty of this also is that I can attach it to my fermentation vessel and filter the beer coming out of there whenever it's time to keg. Very excited and interested to see how this thing works. It should do at least a couple of things for me. The first, like I mentioned, it should filter out any of the particles, the sediment, the hop debris when I'm transferring from the brew kettle into my fermentation vessel. The second thing, it should clarify my beer, help brighten the color, make it a little clearer also. It's not bad, not great. So we'll be using 4 ounces of hops today, 1 Cascade, and then 3 of the Trident hops as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get them all in the sanitizer. All right, there we go. Water is boiling. Turn the heat off. Now then it's time to add 6 pounds of our liquid malt extract. This is the gold malt extract syrup. When you're adding liquid malt extract, you want to be sure and pour slowly and stir pretty vigorously to make sure that the bottom of the kettle doesn't scorch or burn that liquid malt extract. Now that we've added the liquid malt extract, time to add the dry malt extract. You guys know the last time I tried to open this, I absolutely mutilated the plastic packaging. Let's see, I don't know what to expect here. Let's see if I can do it any better. Look at that. You live, you learn, right? Again, requires a very vigorous stir to make sure that this doesn't clump up within the wort that you're creating. Okay, friends, both liquid and dry malt added, stirred in very vigorously, like I said. Make sure I don't have any clumps, no scorching on the bottom of the kettle. Let's get this thing back up to a boil. Then it'll be time to start adding the hops and ready for that 30-minute boil time. So now that we're at the boil, I'm going to turn back the heat just a little bit. I've got my hops here. Let's go ahead and add these and be mindful of the foam and a potential boil over. I don't expect it to happen given the only working with 2.5 gallons of water. I'm going to go ahead and give this a stir just to kill down a little bit of that foam, knock it down somewhat. So let's add the hops. Now that it's time to let this go, like I said, for 30 minutes. Just like last time I showed you guys, once the foam does die down, there is a kind of a ring around the collar there that's got a lot of hop debris on it. So I just like to spoon a lot of this liquid up, the hot liquid, try to get that down get that flavor, the aroma, all down into the wort. Once you've got your wort into the boil, that's the time where you can go around and do some of the smaller things that you might need to do. Be ready for those next steps as they come up. I've got to get my wort chiller recirculation system set up, so that's what I'm going to do now. I've also got an empty 5-gallon corny keg. So I'm going to use the first little bit of hot water that comes through the wort chiller and the recirculation pump, dump it into the keg, and that'll give me some nice warm water to clean this with here after a while. Okay friends, 30-minute boil is done. Time to turn the heat off. Now then, it's time to add 1 ounce of the Trident hops. I'll get this poured in, and then that's going to sit for 10 additional minutes.
Okay, 10 minutes and counting.
At which point we turn on the wort chiller, get it down to 170 degrees, and it'll be time to add 2 more ounces of Trident hops. Time to turn on the wort chiller and get this cooled down to 170 degrees. That didn't take long at all, friends. That's amazing. So now then, we're at 170 degrees. Time to add the last 2 ounces, at least for this part, of the Trident hops. So there's 1 ounce. There's 2 ounces. So we'll put that in. Now then, it needs to chill for another 15 minutes. That's the end of the 15-minute steep for the last 2 hop additions there of the Trident hops. I've got the wort chiller turned on now, just trying to get this down to 70 degrees so we can hit those next steps. Okay friends, just over 14 minutes to get this cooled down to 70 degrees. For those of you that have been following the channel for a little bit, I'm sure you're just as happy as I am to not see the goofy Jenga tower any longer. That has been replaced. I've got a steady, stable platform here to transfer my wort into the fermentation vessel. So remember, we started with 2.5 gallons here. I've got 2.5 gallons added into the fermentation vessel. Now then, it's just time to get the wort transferred. That made zero transferred? That's not even a word. Transfer the wort to the fermentation chamber. To be honest, I'm a little bit iffy on this. I don't know how this is gonna go. I've got my bouncer inline filter here. We're gonna see how this works. You guys are gonna get to see it just as I do. I've not practiced this or done this before, so we'll see how this goes. So you can see the beer is flowing through the filter nicely right now. Everything seems to be working. Can't wait to see what I've picked up in that filter once the transfer is complete. Okay friends, that's everything that I could pull off. Just wanted to show you real quick what that filter actually caught. All of this I kept out of my beer, and that is fantastic by me. So the wort's been transferred into the fermentation vessel. Now then, time to add the Omega Labs Cosmic Punch Ale. All right, friends, here we go. Time to add the lid. There we go. Cosmic Trident Pale Ale in the fermentation chamber. Friends, thank you so much for joining me today as we brewed up Northern Brewer's Cosmic Trident Hazy Pale Ale Extract Kit. Golly, that is a mouthful. What? Super excited to see all the stuff that filter, that bouncer inline filter, kept out of my fermentation chamber. Nope. Out of the fermentation vessel. In the fermentation chamber. Nope. Fermentation vessel. Now, geez. Kept out of my fermentation chamber? No. Fermentation vessel. Super excited to see all the little sediments and particles and things that the bouncer inline filter kept out of my fermentation vessel. Can't wait to see what kind of difference that makes in the clarity of my beer and also the sediment that's in the fermentation vessel. Second brew of 22 is in the books. Appreciate all the likes and the comments. If you're not already, please consider subscribing. That always helps us out. And smash that bell so you get a notification every time we post a video here on Ozark Outdoor Brewing. And remember, drink responsibly.